Welcome back to another episode of the Cobra Corner. Sorry we were not with you for the past week or so. We were on Thanksgiving break, so we got to enjoy some time with our families and weren't here at Coker. But nonetheless, we're going to get back into it with this week, wrapping up some action-packed week and previewing what's ahead for the Cobras. So let's get right into the action with some quick headlines.
Yeah, lots of has happened over the last couple weeks. First of all, Steven Spitko on the wrestling team is currently ranked number 6 in the country in the 133 weight class based on the open mat rankings. The women's tennis pairing of Jade Beligy and Emerson Banning is 10th in the Southeast ITA region rankings, along with Jade being 10th in singles on the women's side as well. So that's the first time that two players like that have been ranked, both a doubles pair and a singles player in the ITA rankings. It's first time in history of the tennis program, so that's a really big thing for us. SAC Player of the Week last week was Shantiana Tillman. She had 2 games of 19 points. One of the games had 19 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and 5 steals in the win over UVA Wise, which was huge. And of course, both basketball teams, 5-0. Both are 4th in the Southeast region. May even be more in the next release of the rankings, and we could see
tomorrow.
Tomorrow and Wednesday. It kind of depends.
Wednesday.
Yeah. And so stay tuned to our social media and be updated, because there's a chance that we could get some nationally ranked votes and even in the top 25 in the next set of rankings. So we're super excited for that and for the rest of the season for basketball. It's amazing to see. And then the men's soccer team had 3 athletes named to the all-district team. The 2 on second team, Johan Chopin and Oscar Kaufman. And, of course, Oscar was named the Freshman of the Year in the South Atlantic Conference. And then Chopin was first team All-South Atlantic Conference in the midfield. And then on the first team, Maddie Tricker, candidate for Defensive Player of the Year in the district as well. First team All Southeast district, and will now be up for an All-American nomination as well. So excited to see to hear more about that, because there's a really good chance he can receive that honor as well. And then, of course, so much has happened this week. The last 2 weeks, actually, as we said, that we were back home for Thanksgiving. Hope all of our Coker fans had a great Thanksgiving and stuffed their stomachs. And
we sure did.
For sure. And got to spend some quality time with their families.
It's always good going home, but it's always good getting back. You got finals. Got 2 weeks grinding with schoolwork, and then get to get back home for the winter.
Yeah, so
unless you're a winter sport,
obviously, then you're not going home.
Yeah.
But speaking of the winter sports, the last 2 weeks, wrestling recorded wins over Emory and Henry, and then also this weekend the Carolina Clash recorded a win over Lincoln Memorial as well. So 2 SAC wins to start off the year, and that obviously we said earlier that Spitko is ranked number 6 in the country at 133, and he recorded some wins over other schools this weekend over Ashland, and over Ashland he recorded the lone win for the Coker Cobras wrestling team, and now we're going to get into what has been a huge week of basketball. Will take us through some men's basketball.
Yeah, we had a busy week in basketball this week as Wingate. We took on Wingate and beat them in double overtime.
It was a crazy game.
133 to 127. Top performers from that game were Ian Blue with 34 points.
Yeah.
8 rebounds and 3 assists.
13 for 17 from the field.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Then Logan Murray, 22 points, 6 for 8 from the field, 4 for 6 from 3, 5 rebounds, 7 assists. And Max Hooray, there for a little bit, he couldn't miss.
Yeah, we were talking about it on the broadcast. I mean, it was just like he could not miss a shot. It was insane. I think he made like 4 threes in a row or something like that. Yeah, it was crazy.
But yeah, he finished with 7 rebounds and 2 boards. Or sorry, 7 rebounds and 2 assists. But yeah, that game was exciting to say the least.
To say the least, and then not to mention on the stat sheet, but Jamie Muldowney at the end of the game, it was 130 to 125, I believe, was the score line, and Jamie was like just a weird play kind of happened. He somehow freed himself up. He was like 35 feet from the basket. It was a really deep 3-pointer, and just kind of was shocked that he found himself that open and just took the 3 and hadn't really been hitting that night. No. I think he started 0 for 7, 0 for 8 from 3, and just drilled one. And I was crazy. I went crazy on the broadcast. It was awesome to see. Yeah, what a showing by the boys to get that one done, close it out with a 6-point win in double overtime.
But yeah, then they went on to UVA Wise, and then when they beat them 103 to 93. Something about these Coker boys love scoring about 100 points in college basketball games.
They have not scored under 100 points this season yet.
That's crazy. But Jamie Muldowney did make his presence known on this stat sheet. 21 points from the man. And then Max Hooray, 18 points. And then Glenn Bynum Jr., 16 points in a pretty, I wouldn't say dominant win, but a for sure win for the Cobras.
Yeah, but a dominant win, although the scoreline doesn't show it, is the next game.
Yes. I wasn't here for this one, but David was here for this one, so he might have more insight on it as I was home for Thanksgiving. But yeah, they beat Limestone 103 to 91. Top performers from that game: Jamie Muldowney, 18 points, 4 boards, 1 assist, and 4 made 3-pointers.
4 for 5 from
4
3.
for 5.
4 for 5 from 3. So 80% on the day from 3-point range.
He's getting hotter as the season goes on, I guess.
He's shooting over 40% from 3 on the season. So
that's good to see from the man. He had to sit out last year due to an injury. So she's fired up to get back out there, and their stats are showing it. Glenn Bynum Jr., 15 points, 4 assists, 2 steals. And then Ian Blue wraps out the top 3 performers at 14 points, 4 assists, and 1 steal.
Yeah, so at one point that game was a 26, 27-point game or something along those lines. And they just kind of took their foot off the gas, put in some people that haven't seen the floor all season, and just kind of, well, except for the Erskine game where they won by 60 points. But yeah, they were up really convincingly on Limestone and just kind of coasted. It was a 12-point win, but it was domination all the way through. It was close. There was a worry a little bit there in the first half, but just kind of put their foot on the gas and took care of business. But yeah, now on the other side,
they just kept the move going.
Yeah, so men's and women's basketball have just been keeping pace with each other all season.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of points, not so much. The men have not scored under 100 points, and the women's scores were 63, 78, and 68, which are still solid scores and normal scores for women's basketball, because the men's scores are nothing short of extraordinary.
They don't play nearly the same style of basketball as Michael Lambert, who plays with his squad.
Yes, they press the entire game, gets lots of steals, and
they might score a lot of points, but if you look at the final scores, they do give up a lot of points because they play so fast and it's all a lot of transition play.
Yes, 100%.
So yeah, it's just a different style of play, but nonetheless, both teams are still getting it done at the end of the day.
100%. Talking now women's basketball, they got a win versus Wingate 63-57. This is another one of those score lines that was deceiving. At one point, it was a 17-point ball game in this one. Shantiana Tillman, 19 points. Maya Wassel, 14. Kamari Thompson had 14 rebounds. And Mitchum had 4 assists. It was a great day. That was one of those teams, I believe, that was picked above them in the rankings. So the other 2 were not. UVA Wise and Limestone, both on the men's and women's side, I believe, were below them. But going back to the men, I know you came in to the locker room with them afterwards, and Lamberti had the the list of teams that were above them in the preseason rankings and just like crossed it off the list.
They kept their receipts on that one and just put it up in the locker room. But yeah, it was hype going in there. You go in there and the guys are just dancing with the marker. Lamberty comes in, swipes off the name, which is always it's a good motivation factor because sometimes the Cobras don't get ranked.
We're always slept on.
What we think they should be. But nonetheless,
you got to remember the men's soccer team that just went on a Sweet 16 run was ranked fifth in the SAC preseason poll. And I promise you, there's not 4 teams better than the Cobra men's soccer team. Constantly flying underneath the radar. But talking to Coach Lamberti earlier today about like just them maybe even getting into the national rankings, he said, I could care less where they put us because we love flying underneath the radar. We love being the underdogs. We love, coming into a situation where the odds are against us and prevailing every single time. And he loves his group of guys. It's hard to beat the Cobras, no matter who you are. No matter how good you are.
You gotta have the legs. These guys are running.
Because
speaking of that, these got done. I think in between each drill, they was practicing behind. I think they do like a full field or a full court suicide. Every time. So they're always in shape.
If you're watching on YouTube, they're practicing behind us, and they're just constantly running during their practices. And they have to get themselves ready, because if they don't, the play style just isn't going to work for them. They've got to be conditioned. They've got to go 100%. And it's crazy because normally in a basketball game, you start your best 5. And they do start, some of their best players, but their 2 units
hockey lines it's legit hockey. Like hockey does the same thing. You don't put your star guys all in one line, because then your other 3 lines might get scored on or might not have much offensive pressure. So he just balances the lines up that way. He has 2 squads he can really trust and put out there.
And he literally does hockey subs. He goes 5 in, 5 out. It is unlike anything you see at any level of basketball. To be honest with you, the only other team in Division II that does it is, guess what? West Liberty. And guess where Michael Lamberti just came from? West Liberty University. So that he's kind of putting that into effect here, and unless you play like that or play against it constantly, it is so difficult to beat those teams. No matter, you could have all the talent in the world, but you might be able to outscore our first unit, but the minute that second unit comes in and they're playing just as hard, just as fast, and just as well,
it's tough to beat.
It is super, super difficult to beat. And one of the guy we've been talking about, Jamie Muldowney, who's averaging over 18 points a game on 40% from 3 this season, is part of that second unit. So he comes in the game, he just shoots lights out, and then they bring in the next unit. It's a constant rotation, and obviously there's some differences sometimes. Like if somebody's playing magnificently well, you're going to keep them in the game more than you would normally. So it's sometimes maybe it's not 5 in, 5 out. Maybe it's 4 in, 4 out. Though. Yeah, for sure. So
someone's hot, you're not going to take them off.
Yeah,
like you're going to give them hot hands. Going to want to shoot the ball. You want them to shoot the ball, have the ball in their hands, and make decisions. But
yeah, so it's just awesome to see.
Yeah.
It's such a fun brand of basketball to watch.
It's like an NBA game.
Yes, and I'm sure it's a fun brand of basketball for you to video and to do videos on and do that and so but yeah, well, we got off on a tangent, but going back to the 3 other on the other side, on the women's basketball side, they're just as entertaining to watch. I mean,
they got some studs.
They do. Their starting lineup, I mean, obviously they play a different brand of basketball, so their starting 5 is their true starting 5. And they've got a great piece that comes off the bench in Kristen Knight that's been doing really well for them. And their starting 5 accounts for a lot of their points, but their defensive pressure, they full court press the entire game. It is, I think, the only team. Now I will say this in Division II, because they did play Coastal Carolina on Wednesday at their place in Conway, and Coach Mel literally was like, yeah, they're just the Division I version of us. They full court press the entire game. They like to go after pressure steals, and so they foul more often than not because that's just the brand of basketball that they play.
Yeah, that game was fun to watch. I actually got the chance to watch that game.
It was on ESPN Plus,
ESPN Plus.
so it was really cool to have that level of production on that stage and get to play somebody like that and get the experience. And they kept it real close. So that was really cool to even think that we were in that game there for a really long time.
Yeah, my favorite part was I had listening to the broadcasters. They were like, there's just like Coker, like it's a D2 program versus a D1 program. Like obviously the D1 program is the better program because they're higher up.
They've got more funding to put into
so much more
and more staff, so that they've got lots of moving pieces and graphics and lots of motion graphics, lots of pictures that they use, lots of different stats and all that, along with 2 ESPN broadcasters.
Yeah, it was more of the fact that on the court, the announcers were very surprised by how closely they were playing a Division I opponent, and they had nothing but good things to say about what Coach Mel's doing with this team. And
yeah. It was really exciting.
It was a good experience, even though they did lose. It was an exhibition game, so
it doesn't count on the record.
Count towards the record.
Yes, and no stats, no record.
But they put up a very good showing against a very solid D1 opponent.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, very solid because they were a women's basketball team that went to the Final Four in NC State. Your NC State Wolfpack there. Yeah. That women's team made a Final Four run last year, and Coastal took them to the brim. I mean, it was like a 3-point game. So, and they killed Charleston Southern, and they killed one of another D1 basketball team. So, it's kind of cool to think that hey, there's some D1 teams out there that Coker really could get after. And so that was just a fun experience to be able to watch that on TV and get to see all that.
And you had to send all the information over to him, so I'm sure that was fun for you.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm
hyping
happy
them up, giving them it was good because I could tell the stuff you sent over to them, and you could tell you really put time and effort into it, even though you didn't have to. So don't want to go over that. Get the credit when credit's due. But
yeah, I appreciate that. I mean, they asked for a lot of material, and when you're on that stage, you want to make sure that everything you're giving out is to the best possible ability that you can, because you don't want to give out bad stuff and then get embarrassed on national television. So yeah, we made sure that they had access to all of our media day stuff and our nice headshots that we took and all those things, and make sure they have the statistics that they needed and all that other stuff. So it was really cool for them to be able to experience that and get 3 wins during this 2-week period in conference play. Wingate 63-57. We already went over that one. A dominant 78-60 win over UVA Wise. Tillman again, 19 points.
Kamari, 16 rebounds.
12 points, 16 rebounds. She's averaging over 11 rebounds a game this season.
She's living up to that preseason D2 top player to watch.
For sure.
That's good to see.
And then she, Tillman, like we said earlier, SAC Women's Basketball Player of the Week against UVA Wise, had 19 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds, and 5 steals.
Wow.
So five steals is a crazy number. Yeah. Even if you're ignoring the rest of it, to have 5 steals by yourself, because lots of teams don't even have 5 steals. But the way we play basketball, they're going to have some steals. So, and then, like I said, Kamari Thompson, 12 points, 16 rebounds. And then a dominant win over Limestone to go to 5-0 and 3-0 in the SAC. Deja Ferguson, 19 points, 5 rebounds, and a steal. She was up for Women's Basketball Player of the Week, did not win it, but she was a nominee for that award this week. And Kamari Thompson, of course, again, 11 rebounds. And as they just kind of went to work on Limestone and really didn't trail at all. They had a lead up to 17 points. They cut it down for a little bit there, but at the end of the day, they prevailed with a double-digit victory, and they're, we are in an exciting time of Coker athletics in general, and we're in the midst of this basketball season, and 2 games this coming week that we're going to talk about here in a little bit that that are on that docket, and hopefully move into 6-0 and then 7-0, and just continuing this role that they're on to continue to show just how scrappy and just how awesome this little small town of Hartsville, South Carolina is, and just it's really fun to be a part of it. We're in a really big growth period of Coker athletics.
Absolutely. Yeah, and then men's soccer finished up their season, unfortunately, just a bit before they wanted it to be done.
Yeah, so obviously we didn't do this last week, so you didn't get to hear, at least on the podcast. I'm sure you saw, if you follow our social media and you follow along on the website, maybe you're signed up for our newsletter. If you're not, get signed up for our newsletter. Slight plug there. We've brought that back. There's a sign up tab on our website that you can find. Visit that. Information is on a social media post on our social media page on Instagram. So go and find that. You'll get articles from wins and all conference nominees and all that sorts of stuff. You can sign up for an individual sport. You can sign up for all sports to get those. But yeah, continue to look out for that kind of stuff. So follow along. But 3-2 win in overtime here in Hartsville for the round of 32 against Auburn Montgomery. It was a barn burner. I mean, just a barn burner. We were both there for that. 15th minute, Oscar Kaufman won a free kick, got fouled near the top of the 18-yard box, and Vitalis Takawira Jr. just a banger of a free kick into the left side netting to take the 1-0 lead. But then for the rest of the half, it was kind of all Warhawks.
Yeah, they had that. They killed us on that throw-in from the side. They had this one
their
player who
set pieces are really good.
They would get the ball in the American football 20-yard line ish, and they would just throw it into the box almost like a corner kick. And unfortunately, the Warhawks got one in the back of the net off of that.
Yeah, so the one that they got, the first one that they got was a shot from a really tough angle. It was a really good shot that made it 1-1, and then a 2-1 in the 34th minute after a long throw. That signature long throw by the Warhawks landed itself in the penalty box and just was slotted home.
Yeah. Got bounced around a little bit and found the foot of a wide open Warhawk.
Yep. So, but it was 2-1 going into the halftime break, and then Johan Chopin ripped just a rip of a shot that was. And by the way, all credit in the world to Auburn Montgomery's goalkeeper.
Oh, he was on.
Insane.
He was standing on his head for sure.
If they did not have him, if they had a mediocre goalie in there, this game would have been, what do you think, 5-2, 6-2?
It's that second half, they just kept shooting. Coker could not buy a goal.
They couldn't get past him. I mean, the dude was built like a mountain. He was 6'4" and just had the vertical and had the wingspan and just so all credit to him and his side and what they did to really give us fits in that first round.
Yeah, and we scored the third goal, not the third goal, the second goal we scored off the ball hitting.
So that's what I was saying. So Johan Chopin just ripped a shot. It was a beautiful shot. I mean, just
out of the air, just side almost like a sidearm swing or sidearm shot, but just in soccer, just sidearm ripped it. Line drive.
And it he just got a piece of it, but the problem was that it deflected right into the path of Oscar Kaufman. Not a problem for us, obviously. A great thing for us. And and Kaufman just slotted it home to make it 2-2. And then the rest of the half was very physical, very chippy, and
I mean, it's playoff soccer. It's just like any
everybody
other sport.
wants to win, and they want to win bad.
The physicality scale gets amped up in the playoffs postseason.
Yeah, the storyline was insane, and we'll talk about it after I say this. But Nico Sotra just unchecked in the 18-yard box off the corner from Freddie Benedict's that just trickled in for the game winner. But we mentioned it in the article. We mentioned it a little bit in the social media post. But his grandmother had passed away earlier that week, and it was he was just distraught about it all week and just trying to call back and forth from home, trying to figure things out and see where things were. But ended up figuring, just he went to that game and just wanted to find a way to honor her. And so, like I said, talked about this in the article. He had a shirt that read a message for his grandmother, and had it underneath his uniform, and just kind of tried to play for her the entire game. And
Well, I don't think it was his plan to take it off and show everybody. I think he
But
just literally
it was
just wanted
just
to have it close to his heart. Is what he
Yes.
told the team before the game. Is he just wanted to have her close to her heart. Nobody or the team
didn't
might have knew about
advertise
it.
that
he
he
did not
did it.
advertise
No.
it. It just happened to be he scores the game-winning goal to send your team to Sweet 16.
And then
he's
just
like,
all the emotion just comes around, and he rips off the uniform and shows it, and we got the picture of him just like pointing up at the sky, just knowing that his grandma was with him the entire time. It was just
definitely
awesome,
with him in that moment for sure.
Yeah,
It's
100%.
crazy. It's awesome how stuff like that comes together.
That one, I spent a lot of time on that article to make sure that it did it justice, because the moment was just awesome.
That was really cool.
but-
once everybody figured out what actually happened, because it wasn't like he
didn't advertise.
nobody
it.
advertised
Yeah.
it, and it was once the story got out, people understood, and then it was like that's like
It was really
God
cool.
is good.
Yeah. It was really awesome to be able to see. But unfortunately, the season did come to an end this past Sunday at Lynn, and heartbreaker, because they played that game so well. They had a lot of offensive chances in the second half to even it up, but all credit to the defense of the Fighting Knights. They're the number one team in the country for a reason, right? And we played the number one team in the country to the brink of elimination, and they just came through. It was that one goal difference. That's been all three of our losses all year. We're just that one goal difference that they just couldn't get it done. But what a season. Lots of things happened. Obviously, that's the best finish that they've had in school history, to get to the Sweet 16. Ties a program high number 4 in the country at one point. Oscar Kaufman, freshman of the year in the SAC. Maddie Tricker, defensive player in the SAC, had an all-time high 8 all-conference nominees, and 4 of them were on the first team. So just
not to mention Michael Antonovich, coach of the year.
Yeah, and he likes to say that it was the coaching staff of the year.
That's fair.
Yeah,
we talked to him earlier in the year, and he said he could not do it alone. So.
Yeah, 100%. And he posted about it on his Facebook just recently, and he didn't even write coach of the year. He wrote down coaching staff of the year.
That tells you the kind of man Coach Antonovich is.
Yeah, and it's the kind of guy that you want to play for as a player and coach underneath as an assistant coach.
Absolutely.
And that's the reason why they're a winning program. 15-3-1 record on the season, and unfortunately that third loss came in the Sweet 16. Was really hoping to get a shot at another shot, a revenge shot at Limestone, but funny enough,
Monday morning quarterbacks, and if we could have won that game, we would have had hosted the Elite Eight.
Yes.
So.
Unfortunately, well, I guess we wouldn't have gotten a crack at Limestone either way, because they did end up losing in the Sweet 16 as well. But it just stinks to know that we would have hosted that game if we would have pulled through in that contest in Boca Raton. But like I said, what a season! Lots of records broken, history made, win streaks. Freddie Benedict's shattered the assist record for a single season in Coker men's soccer history.
He actually he had the assist in the Nico Sotra game winner.
Yes,
it was off a free kick in the corner.
Off the corner kick. Yeah. So I talked to him. They're amped up and they're ready to go for next year now. They're so excited to build on this season and continue to go forward in the pursuit of one thing, and it's bringing Coker University their first national championship out of any sport.
That would be something cool.
They want to do it. Cool. They want to do it, and they want to be the ones to do it. I talked to him about it. He said, I want to be the one to do it. Obviously, he wants all the teams to do well, But he said it's bragging
coaches
rights.
are competitive.
Yeah, 100. I mean, which is why they're in the profession in the first place.
I was like, they gotta have some. They gotta have some competition outside of their own sport.
Yeah. So just now we've talked about all the stuff that's happened in the last 2 weeks that we've missed. But looking into this next week, only two. All the fall sports are now done because men's soccer lost in the Sweet 16. So we've just got men's and women's basketball, wrestling, and also track and field this week. So men's and women's basketball play at Emory and Henry at 5:30 and 7:30. The women play at 5:30, men at 7:30 on Wednesday away. And then they will come back to Hartsville and play Mars Hill Saturday, 2 and 4 p.m. Again, women all season long. Women will be first, men will be second. And that'll be at 2 and 4 p.m. here in the Deloach Center. Wrestling will travel to St. Andrews for a Saturday match. And then indoor track and field starts up this week. They will head to Liberty on Thursday and Friday to compete in their indoor track and field meet to start off the season. So, Will, you want to finish us off?
Yeah, that's going to wrap it up this week for a action-packed, information-filled episode. Thank you guys for listening. A big congrats to our athletes on another incredible week. Don't forget men's and women's basketball Wednesday and Saturday. Saturday being at home. Wrestling gets off, so does track and field. So hopefully next week we'll have some positive and exciting results to talk about. But
for sure.
Until then, thanks for tuning in. Be sure to follow us on social media for all those updates. And as always, go Cobras.
Go Cobras.